When you see news happening, let us know. Grab your phone and hit record and become part of the Newcap news team. It could make you $100 richer. If you capture news happening, drop us an email at tvnews@newcap.ca.
Well, Agri-Visions started Wednesday in the border city, and it's wrapping up this evening. The annual Ag Showpiece is attracting producers to come to the Lloyd X.
But the bottom line is we don't think that oil prices are going to spend most of the year above $60 using the U.S. benchmark.
With headliners like J.P. Gervais, chief economist with Farm Credit Canada, to the numerous trade show exhibits to entice producers and discussions about farm values with realtor Tim Hammond.
It's actually Ontario producers are looking to come to Saskatchewan because they can grow corn and soybeans and what they're familiar with. And their land is $15,000 an acre, not $2,000 an acre.
We will have more from one of the Agri-Visions workshops later in the Agriculture Report. Well, the family day-long weekend is approaching, and winter break is next week for most local students. With the extended time off, travel is expected to increase. People looking to escape the cold will be traveling to destinations with palm trees, beaches, and sun. And according to Jerry Duhame, interest in travel for this particular weekend has increased.
I can tell you that this year for us, and even last year, the February break when the school is out and it's the family weekend is a catalyst for people to take their family on a vacation, or even more so than I think Christmas this year.
Even with the reports in 2017 surrounding Mexican resorts and the contamination of drinks, it remains the #1 destination among travelers.
We have never had a client who's had any issues with drinks or with food from that point of view. I suspect it might happen, but it's never happened to any of our clients.
Duhame also says there has been a rise in interest surrounding cruises, with more being booked this year than in the past. Well, a local woman is raising funds for a great cause while also bringing entertainment to the border city. Eric Friesen has more.
Brandy Schwenk started Rock for a Cure in February 2010 to raise money for breast cancer survivors here in Lloydminster. Since then, the annual rock concert has continued to grow each year and help support more brave women.
It just kept growing on its own. More people heard about it and more people realized what a fun night it was. And I mean, everybody knows someone touched by cancer now, right? So it just kind of started growing. And then as it grew, of course, we got bigger name bands and just kind of went from there.
Though Schwenk is busy preparing for the event next weekend, she is always thinking ahead.
I'm already talking to bands for next year and planning it. I mean, even if it stays small, I'd be happy with that. I think it's important not only for us to do something for breast cancer survivors here in Lloydminster, but I think it's important to have something to do during these winter months.
Schwenk's good friend and co-founder of Rock for a Cure, Rebecca Morledge, unfortunately lost her battle with breast cancer this past August. Despite the tragic loss, Schwenk continues to fight for her.
She was my rock. She was always one of those people who, yeah, she had breast cancer, but she had a shirt that said, "Yes, they're fake. My real ones tried to kill me." Like, that's just who she was, right? She was all about tell my story, inspire other people, right? And she was always, she was just an amazing woman, and she was the reason we kept doing this, and she will be the reason.
Eric Friesen, Newcap News.
Well, most of us enjoy chocolates on days like Valentine's Day. However, eating too much of it can take away from that enjoyment. In this week's Healthy Living, Josh Ryan looks at why chocolate is so beloved and why it's important to mind our consumption.
Of all the snacks that we treat ourselves to, none have the pull of tradition that chocolate does. According to Statista, Canada ranks among the top 10 countries in the world for chocolate sales.
It's connected with several holidays of the year where there's no such strong connection to other types of candies.
Unfortunately, as good as you can feel while eating chocolate, those effects don't last long, regardless of activity.
It'll release that dopamine, and it'll also boost your blood sugar levels. So you feel like you've got a bit of an energy boost going into something like that. Unfortunately, it's not really sustainable way, so you might crash.
Chocolate's properties make it an easy choice for those craving sugar, but unlike other snacks such as nuts, there's no meaningful nutritional value.
The chips or the candy or the chocolate bars. It's going to be a source of calories, and it's going to be something that tastes good. It's going to be something that triggers a reward sensation in the brain, but it doesn't actually fuel the body.
Dark chocolate is considered healthier than other forms, but still lacks enough nutrition to justify mass consumption.
When we look at how much dark chocolate you would actually have to eat in order to obtain a beneficial amount of antioxidants from a health perspective, you would have to eat a ton.
The most important step to avoiding overeating chocolate is to maintain balanced meals.
Making sure that the body is well fueled, making sure that you are eating the foods that you need to meet all your nutrients.
Then narrow it down to a specific choice when it comes to treats.
Pick your favorite. Make it something that's awesome, but be mindful of how much you're having, and don't let it replace the other foods that are actually providing nutrients to your body.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
This is Newcap Sports.
Well, the border city is churning out some of the best fighters in Alberta and Saskatchewan. Look no further than the Lloydminster Boxing Club's recent success at the Battle at the Border card from 2 weeks ago. And it's not the only club. The Fight Farm has its fair share of wins, and that may continue into this weekend. Lance Phillips has more.
The first thing you see upon entering the Fight Farm door is the plethora of medals, pictures, and belts lining the facility's north wall. It's a show of pride for all the club's great fighters. And Saturday, 2 of the farm's top fighters have a chance to bring more hardware back to Lloydminster at the Rumble in the Cage in Lethbridge. Dustin Hines has played hockey in the WHL and ECHL, but he's since hung up the skates for what's been a very successful stint in MMA.
Off the start, it was just something I wanted to try, but like I said, I think I've kind of found a passion for it and a real love, and I'm just taking it one fight at a time right now.
We have a little rule here. You don't compete until you have 2 years experience, but for tournaments and stuff, I don't mind if guys and girls, it's pretty safe and stuff like that. So he did after 6 months, and he kind of went on a tear after that, and he won 10 straight. So that's why we thought, okay, you're ready for the next level.
Andrew Mavridis has been with the club for a little over 2 years and owes a lot of his success to the guidance offered by Tepper.
He's the captain, he knows his stuff. He puts me through the work, and I rely on him to get me through to get the job done.
I've been in the sport for about close to 25 years, and I got to honestly say he's one of the hardest working guys. You want to talk about a true student of the martial arts, he comes to everything that we offer. If we offer basket weaving, and if he felt that it actually helped his martial arts game, he would actually come to the basket weaving. That's Andrew.
The Fight Farm continues to grow, and it's evident why when speaking to both fighters.
We've all harnessed together as a family, and hopefully it continues to grow like that. So
it's been a real eye-opener, I guess. It's literally changed my life a little bit. I mean, my wife's got into it now, and the whole family's getting into it. So I just really like how it teaches you respect and how to take care of yourself.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports.
All right, that's your first look at sports. Josh Ryan has your weather after the break. Stay with us.
This is Newcap Weather with Josh Ryan.
Unfortunately, if you still have woes over the way the Edmonton Oilers are playing, it's not going to get much better over the next couple of days. Still going to have nice cool days with relatively strong winds and just really one warm day tomorrow, which will get around the normal average temperature for this time of the year. Still with plenty of cold, however. As you can see on this 24-hour map here, low pressure system coming in, and by the time it gets to Edmonton and then Lloydminster, it starts to dissipate a little bit, so we're not going to get the worst of the storm. The worst of that is going to be down in Red Deer and further south of Alberta. Still plenty of cloud cover though, and a chance of precipitation, just not in the amount that some other areas might get. So Edmonton sitting at -9 right now, Whitecourt -8, Edson at -6, Jasper out on the west side of Alberta, -6 as well. Red Deer a little bit cooler at -15. When we get into Saskatchewan, Prince Albert currently -16, Melford at -17, same temperature over in Saskatoon, and a little bit cooler further south as well. National weather now. Yellowknife sitting at -25, +4 in Vancouver. Regina warming up just a degree at -18. Toronto still at +4. They were a little bit warmer earlier this week, but cooled down just a couple of degrees. +1 in Quebec City. St. John dropping a couple of degrees in the last hour. Equalette also sitting around the same -32. Halifax dropping 1 degree as well to 0. Now, -16 current temperature in the Battlefords with wind coming out of the southwest. -18 should be the overnight low with plenty of cloud cover. Again, west-southwest winds there. -7 expected to be tomorrow's high. Cloudy, though not as cold. A slight chance of precipitation as the wind will shift to the west-northwest and could vary between 15 to 24 kilometers. So still bumping that wind chill up into the -12 range at least, maybe a little bit worse. Unfortunately, not able to keep that temperature around single digits. -14 over in the Lakeland area with some clouds. Wind coming out of the southwest at 15 kilometers per hour. -17 with considerable clouds is what we're expecting overnight in the region with west-southwest winds, but that wind will start to pick up once it shifts to the northwest and could get near 20 kilometers tomorrow. -8 is the expected high. Mostly cloudy, though, again, not as cold as the last couple of days. Will eventually cool down over the next couple of days. So -14 here in the Midwest. Again, relatively cloudy and should stay cloudy overnight. West-southwest winds at 28 kilometers at the moment. That will die down a little bit overnight, but it'll increase again tomorrow where we could get 30-kilometer gusts of wind. -8 expected to be the high. And again, cloudy, but not as cold, but an outside chance of precipitation in the late morning, early afternoon. So something to watch for there. Maybe a centimeter tops if we do get hit. Again, that weather system is supposed to start to break up as it makes its way out east. Now your 7-day forecast, -13 expected on Saturday with a low of -24, -17 on Sunday, yikes, although it does get a little bit sunnier, low of -25 there, -15 on Monday with a low of -21, then starting to warm up again, -13 on Tuesday with a low of -20, -12, and then -23 on Wednesday, and finally -7 on Thursday. But again, outside chance of precipitation at 60% with a low of -15. Largely west winds all through this week, mostly out of the northwest, though it will shift here and there to the southwest, particularly at the end of this 7-day forecast.
Crime is the hot button topic that packed the Dick Jones Pavilion on day one of Agri-Visions. In this week's Agriculture Report, Gerard Lampow meets a former Crown prosecutor who weighs in on the topic.
Some people express frustration that some people don't follow those laws and commit criminal acts. That's understandable, but that shouldn't result in those same people themselves going outside the law.
Glenn Jacks retired as a Crown prosecutor in Saskatchewan last year. Given the concern of the impact of rural crime, he maintains everyone is subject to the law. He weighed in on the issue of stiffer penalties.
The police and the Crown prosecutors are there to enforce the laws as they are written by Parliament. They are not there to make up the laws, so anything with what laws should be in place, what laws should be enforced, lies within the realm of elected officials.
When we talk about legislation, is having some discussion with our justice and with our crowns with regards to sentencing, trials, those kinds of things, and how we proceed with some, of those areas as far as adding to the length of time maybe that criminals need to serve.
MLA for Lloydminster Colleen Young says the effort in Saskatchewan is to ensure a full complement of officers for the RCMP, especially in rural areas.
Those discussions are always ongoing, and of course we know that if there is a need to increase RCMP officers in our rural areas, that we work with the RCMP to let our federal government know that we need to increase budgets maybe.
And what about the issue of removing bail privileges for repeat offenders?
The judges take into account things like, are they going to show up for court? Have they committed previous criminal offenses and are likely to repeat? So the existing bail provisions cover the circumstances that you've raised in your question.
But while citizens wait for more officers and tougher penalties, concerns are growing.
I know people are frustrated. I hear it too. I get the calls too as well, and I have those conversations with people. We caution people about taking matters into their own hands.
Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
Well, Lloydminster Comprehensive High School continually produces strong sports teams, and the same could be said for its curling program. Wednesday, the Barons entered 3 teams in zone finals, and while their mixed squad didn't make the semifinals, the boys and girls teams walked away with some hardware. Lance Phillips tells us what color.
The Barons are no stranger to provincial curling play, but this year teams will be absent after a silver and bronze finish for the boys and girls teams respectively. In the gold medal final, the Barons boys lost a close match to St. Paul, meaning a missed chance to improve upon last year's provincial silver.
Yeah, we played very well, and we could have went for gold, and we were pretty close for gold, but nothing wrong with silver, and it's better than bronze.
They're only grade 10 and 11, these guys, and we have another year, and we have no grade 12s on our curling team this year. So, they did really, really well.
The girls team crushed FG Miller from Elk Point for bronze, but feel they deserved a better result in the gold semifinal given their high caliber of play all season long.
We played really well. Came down to the last shot to do an extra end, and I came up light. We could have had a shot for the gold, but I'm proud of the girls. They played really well.
Oh yeah, you know what, really, they should be the ones going to provincials with the gold medal right now. They were undefeated, and really their games were all not very challenging. They had a commanding lead on every single game.
Neither team touts one grade 12 player, meaning the future of Barons curling should be strong next year and beyond.
We're at grade 11 and we have a lot of grade 10s starting, and I see a growing interest in the sport.
I think it's going to improve, and I think we will walk away with a banner.
Someone once said you learn more from a loss than you do from a win, and so that's what those girls will take away, and that's what our boys will take away today.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports.